and its website by the hosts, guests, and call-in listeners or chatters are solely the opinions of the original source who expressed them. They do not necessarily represent the opinions of Revolution Radio and freedomslips.com, its staff, or affiliates. You're listening to Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com, 100% listener-supported radio, and now we return you to your host.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. You're listening to the Samsel Report, coming to you live from beautiful Clearwater, Florida, right here on Revolution Radio. Well, we was talking about Christians. Where's the president on all of this? That's the question. Where is the president on all of this? Well, despite numerous warnings that terrorists are infiltrating the country disguised as refugees, Obama is shipping in as many refugees as possible during his last days in office. Thus, Obama subjects millions of Americans to the threat of Islamic terror. Oh, yes. Is it not blatantly obvious that Obama is forcing weaponized Islam upon the American people? Don't the American people get it? Well, there's two groups of people out there, the ones that get it and the ones that don't, right? Am I right? One need only look at the European Union to see how the use of weaponized Islam on a Western Christian society produces nothing but chaos and bloodshed in the streets. During New Year's Eve celebrations in Cologne in 2015, 1,350 crimes were committed by Muslim refugees, including 650 sexual assaults and 73 rapes. That's in Cologne. Okay? What about all the other European countries over there? Let's add all that together, all that stuff together, see what, but it's a lot. That adds up to a whole bunch there, people. Guess what happened this year? Huh? Guess what happened this year at the New Year's Eve celebrations in Cologne? A mob of over 1,000 Muslims shot fireworks at infidels in the streets, including families with children. Instead of shooting the fireworks up in the air, they were shooting at people and storefronts and automobiles and each other, probably. See? Then, after they got through doing that, they descended upon Germany's oldest Christian church. Germany's oldest Christian church. And they set it ablaze and burned it to the ground while shouting Allah Akbar. Okay? Then, when they were done doing that, they turned around and shot fireworks at the police. So, all hell broke loose in Cologne during the New Year's Eve celebrations, thanks to the Muslim invasion So how is that working out for all those French people over there? It's not working out too good, is it? Huh? I tell you what, these people are something else. These people are unbelievable. These people are these are bad people. Let me tell you. Okay? And Obama's bringing in as many as he can before he has to give up the throne to Trump. And let's go on. Let us move on to our next headline. If you think they are having a hell of a time in Cologne, well, check this one out, baby. You're going to love this one. Our next headline. Almost 1,000 cars, automobiles, were torched throughout France on New Year's Eve. But the government insists that everything went particularly well that night. Right? Vandals in France torched 945 parked cars on New Year's Eve in an arson rampage that has become a sinister annual tradition in France. So every year, every New Year's Eve in France, hide your car, right? Hide your car. I don't know where you're going to put it, but you better think of some place to put it because these people are going to torch your car. All right? Okay? 1,000 cars. Can you imagine 1,000 cars in any city? Any freaking city. I don't care what city it is. Can you imagine 1,000 cars being set afire? Huh? Picture it in your mind. Okay? Now it's an annual tradition. On Sunday, the ministry had chosen to release a much lower figure of 650 cars torched, as this only indicated the number of vehicles actually set on fire and not those engulfed in the ensuing flames. Whatever the hell they're talking about there, that didn't make any sense. Huh? They're trying to bring that number down, see? They said, the government says 650 cars were torched. Okay? The lower figure enabled the government to claim that once again this year, the overall number of vehicles burned demonstrates that, however intolerable, the phenomenon is contained. Contained? Contained. After 650 cars were torched, and that's not counting the ones that they smashed windows and busted out the windows and jumped up and down on and right, like a bunch of monkeys. 650 cars torched, but they've got it contained, right? They should have had it contained way back before they even hit 10. They should have been out there breaking it up, right? I don't know. Is it me or what? I don't know. The end result, they torched your car. Right? They torched the cars. I got no wheels. I got no wheels because they torched my car. How am I going to get to work? Huh? My insurance is going to go through the roof. Right? Every way you look, there's frickin' ragheads running around screaming Allah Akbar and setting cars on fire. What a beautiful New Year's Eve for everybody to enjoy. Bring the family. Bring out the fam. Bring your mom. Bring your pop. Bring grandma and grandpa. Bring your friends for the annual car burning in France. Bring some hot dogs. Bring some marshmallows. See? And we'll sit around the 1972 Plymouth that's on fire. We'll cook marshmallows. How's that? But these incidents are not tolerable. No, 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 no. They are not tolerable. And the perpetrators must be found, and they must answer for their acts. That's right. That's what Pierre Henry Brandet, an Interior Ministry spokesman, had to say. It's not tolerable. The perpetrators must be found. Right? Well, it shouldn't be too hard. There's a whole bunch of cars were torched. Not unless the same guy, 2 guys or 3 guys set all those cars. I don't think so. I think maybe a whole bunch of them were setting cars on fire. Right? Huh? Setting vehicles alight on New Year's Eve has become a tradition among Muslim refugees in France. It's all part of the cultural enrichment that comes from open borders and multiculturalism. All right? This is your cultural enrichment, people. Get used to it. And he's bringing that same sort of cultural enrichment to the United States. So if you think these people over here in France got problems, if you think the German people have problems, huh? If you think the Brits have problems with Londonistan over there, right? If you think those people have problems, baby, get ready, because you're going to have the same problems in your neighborhoods, in your cities. Wait till they start burning cars on the streets of cities in America. Huh? When will these people start going, acting like a bunch of wild baboons? Huh? In your town. Are you going to be, then it'll be time for you to worry about your kids and your wife and your daughters. And they're going to import this cultural enrichment right here in the United States of America. So get ready for it. Get ready for it. People walk around that are totally oblivious to all this. Totally oblivious to all this. And it couldn't care less in 50% of the people. Couldn't care less. Right? It's coming, ladies and gentlemen. And it's the left, and it's the Obama administration. They're bringing them over here, baby. You know when it's too late? You know when it's too late? When you start seeing them everywhere. You start seeing these people all over the place. You know you're in trouble, baby. Big time. Big time. So let's go to our next headlight. Headlight. Our next headlight. You're going to love this. This is the kind of people we're dealing with here. This is the people that we have that they're going to force down our throats here. Moderate rebels. They claim to be moderate Muslim rebels. Well, they now use 7-year-old girls as suicide bombers. Obama-backed terrorists killing little girls. 7-year-old little girls. She was sent to conduct a suicide bombing targeting a police station in the Syrian capital of Damascus. The girl detonated the bomb at the entrance of Al Midan police station, killing herself in the process while injuring one officer. The little girl entered the police department, claimed that she was lost. This is according to Russia Today's Syria correspondent Lizzie Phelan. She walked into the police department, said that she was lost. Witnesses say she then asked to go to the bathroom before detonating her explosive device. The chief of the police station, Brigadier General Basman Zaidan, said that the bombing caused minor injuries to one policeman and material damage to the second floor's offices and bathroom. So she didn't take nobody with her, I don't think. No, she didn't take anybody with her when she blew herself to smithereens. I guess maybe her sister will be next. Give it a shot. Huh? Huh? It is possible that the girl was indoctrinated by one of the various Obama-backed terrorist groups in Syria. However, there are reports from Syrian news station El Ekbaria, which states that the girl was coerced into committing the deed and that the explosive was detonated remotely. What can I say? I'm speechless. I'm speechless. How the hell do two parents send their little girl off, 7 years old, to be blown to smithereens and kill some innocent people and take them with her? What kind of barbarian, backwards, satanic monstrosities can do something like that? Huh? There's another headline here. Jihadi parents kiss their young daughters goodbye. This is a video. I saw this video. It was disgusting. It made me want to throw my guts up. Before the 7-year-old girl walks into a Damascus police station and is blown up by a remote detonator. So, how in the hell do you push the button? Was it the parent that pushed the button? Wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me. How do you push the button? How do you do that? Now, you can go on the internet and you can Google this up. You can go to InfoWars as well. Footage taken north of Damascus, Syria, shows a male fanatic lecturing the two children, 7 and 9, about how to carry out suicide bomb attacks before they are embraced by a woman in a burqa, presumably their mother. And then they send them out, go down to the police station, and then they push the button, and that's it, right there. That's all she wrote, baby. That's it. Your little girl is splattered all over the building. I'm speechless. I'm speechless. Really. Okay, let us continue on with our headlines, ladies and gentlemen. You want more? That wasn't enough? You want some more? I got more for you if you want it. Here we go. Migrant stabs Christian woman because she was reading the Bible. Okay? These are the kind of people we're bringing in here. And these are not your fanatics. These are moderates. There have been numerous incidents of Christians coming under attack all across Europe. All over the planet. If you're Christian, look out. An Afghan migrant attacked a woman at an asylum center in Austria because she was reading a Bible. This is at a, hold on. This is at a asylum center in Austria. So even those Christians who do manage to get out of the Middle East, do manage to escape, wind up in a asylum center in Austria and get stabbed by a Muslim because she's reading the Bible. See? So even after the Christians manage to escape from the Middle East, they got to worry about the Muslims that they're escaping amongst. And they're being persecuted even once they get out of there. Okay? The attack took place in the town of Temelkum in the state of Upper Austria. The attacker was a 22-year-old migrant from Afghanistan who became annoyed that the 50-year-old woman had been invited by her fellow Christians. She had Christian residents to read the Bible. So you got this group of women sitting there, Christians, reading the Bible, and up comes your Muslim migrant from Afghanistan, 22 years old, stabs her. Austrian paper Kronen Zeitung says he ran into the kitchen where the woman was talking and attempted to stab her in the upper body. Her thick winter coat protected her from serious harm. However, she fell and injured her ear and her eye due to the force of the blow. Police arrived at the scene and arrested the migrant. He admitted that he had overreacted, although he told police this was due to personal problems. Oh, yeah, he overreacted is what he did. He overreacted. And he has personal problems. He has personal problems. So, makes a difference. He also stated that he had never seen the woman before the attack. Just some stranger. He didn't even know her. He just didn't like her reading the Bible, so he tried to stick a knife in her back. I guess it's perfectly acceptable in Islam, isn't it? The infidels. Kill them. Who gives a crap? Right? These are the people they're letting into this country here, baby. You can thank Obama for that. There have been numerous incidents of Christians coming under attack in migrant centers across Europe. So even when a Christian makes it through the screening process and makes it to an asylum center, they still are persecuted by the Muslims. The religion of peace. Sharia law. Now in Italy, they've just about had enough. In Italy, they've just about had all they're going to take. Our next headline. Italy to seek to track down and deport migrants with a no right to stay law. Oh, yes. Oh, they've just about had enough. They've had their bellies full of these people. And you can't blame them at all. That's the headline. Here's the story. They want to control and remove irregular foreigners. Italy will seek to deport more migrants who have no right to be in the country and will open new detention centers to hold them before their expulsion. This, according to a written directive and a ministry source. Police Chief Franco Gabrielli sent a 2-page directive to stations across the country on Friday, ordering them to increase their efforts to identify and deport migrants a week after Berlin Christmas market attacker Anis Amri was shot dead near Milan. It sounds to me like they've just about had enough. What do you think? Huh? Huh? I think these people are getting a little perturbed here with the goings-on. The directive, seen by Reuters, says police should take extraordinary action before the growing migratory pressure in an international context marked by instability and threats. They want to control and remove irregular foreigners. Interior Minister Marco Minniti plans to open several new detention centers that hold migrants prior to their expulsion, a ministry source said. So over there in Italy, they had just about had enough, and they're getting perturbed, and they're going to start doing something about it. Over here in this country, thank God we got Donald Trump. Thank God that he will do something about this. He will stop these people from coming into the country. They have to be stopped from coming into the country. And you might not like to hear that, but that is the truth. Unless these people can be vetted, unless we know who they are, where they came from, what their histories are, this is stuff that we have to know before we let them in here. And Christians, we can take in here. They'll fit right in. We can handle that. What we can't handle is all that stuff that's going on over there in Europe. We don't want that going on over here. Let's see what else we got going on here. Hold on a minute here. Okay. All right. Our next headline. Poles smash kebab shop. That's right, you heard right. Poles, Polish people, smash a kebab shop after Muslim employees stabbed a man to death over firecracker. Okay, you're going to love this one. You're going to like this one. I would be happy if there weren't a single Arab in our country. That's right. That's what one resident had to say. After a group of Muslims reportedly stabbed a 21-year-old Polish man to death in the street on New Year's Eve after he threw a firecracker in the general vicinity of their kebab shop. Okay? Now, over in Cologne, right? Over in Cologne, they're shooting fire rockets and missiles and they're shooting them at the people. They're shooting them at cars. They're setting cars on fire. See? That's okay. That's perfectly all right. Right? And now you come over here. Now, in Poland, you got a 21-year-old Polish man stabbed to death because he threw a firecracker in the general vicinity of their kebab shop. So this guy's out in the street and he's blowing up firecrackers. Hey, Happy New Year. Whoa, hey, right? And he happens to throw a firecracker and lands right over there by the kebab shop and it goes, pow, right? Next thing you know, here comes this guy running out of there like a madman, like some kind of crazed baboon, and stabs this guy. Stabs him to death. Okay? How do you like them apples? Huh? It's okay for the Muslims to blow up, shoot firecrackers and rockets at women with strollers, huh? Women and children. We'll shoot at them with the fireworks. We'll shoot at the police with the fireworks. But don't you blow up a firecracker in front of my kebab shop, because I'll come out there and I'll murder you with a knife. I'll stab you to death. Well, what is it, me or what? Huh? Huh? Well, guess what? The next day, the Polish people responded by smashing that shop to pieces and throwing bricks through their windows. So they put the sucker out of business. Okay? I think they're a little bit perturbed. Video of the incident shows a large crowd cheering their retaliatory strike. So they're out there and they're getting theirs, right? I would be happy if there weren't a single Arab in our country. One protester who did not take part in the vandalism said, I am against foreigners ruling in our country, in our beautiful town, and that they would do such things. We don't need them here. They have their own countries. They should go rule in their own country. And those were his words as he stood there watching a whole bunch of Polish people put the kebab shop out of business. After 2 p.m. on Sunday, a crowd gathered in front of the restaurant, approximately 200 to 300 people. Oh, my God. The news outlets reported that the property was destroyed and that stones, bricks, and paving stones were thrown at the shop. According to the reporter, at the beginning, the police didn't want to intervene so as not to exacerbate the conflict. Now, that's one of your problems right there. You got a weak police force. You got a bunch of pussies on the police force. I mean, if they're not going to do... They don't want to get involved. They don't want to intervene. They don't want to exacerbate. They don't want to elevate the problem. Same thing here. Same thing here. You see Black Lives Matter out in the street, shooting guns off, acting like a bunch of crazed baboons. Huh? And the police stand there. They got no gonads. You know what I'd like to see? I'd like to see the police go in there and just kick butt all over the place. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Because that's not a protest. That's what you call a riot. That's not a freaking protest. It's what you call a riot. I'd like to see the police do that. Just go out there and just start rounding these people up. Round them up. Put them behind bars where they belong. So there you go. There you have it. There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, we continue on. You want more? I got more for you. I got more. When the police do something, they get criticized. As in our next headline, German police criticized for preventing repeat of mass molestation in Cologne. Okay? German police are being criticized for preventing a repeat of last year's shocking scenes in Cologne, where hundreds of women were sexually molested by Muslim migrants on New Year's Eve. So that took place a year ago, New Year's Eve. This year, the police are being criticized for preventing a repeat of last year's shenanigans that went on in Cologne. Okay? A huge mob of around 650 North African men turned up at the same location of last year's mass sex assault. Despite a massive police presence of around 1,700 police officers who were tasked with ensuring the safety of German citizens. 1,700 police officers. And a huge mob of 650 North African men, who were probably the same ones who showed up the previous year. They figured, hey, we got away with it. Well, we'll go out and do the same thing again. Right? But once they got out there and hit the streets, they found 1,700 police officers. According to reports, authorities assumed that the majority of the men were the same ones, what I just get finished saying, the same ones involved in the mass molestation of women the previous year. Police also said that the characteristics being displayed by the comparably aggressive men were such that potential crimes could indeed be expected. So, they get out there, 1,700 officers. 190 were told to leave the area. 92 were taken into custody, and 27 were placed under arrest. However, leftists, here we go, the leftists are now criticizing the police for racially profiling the mob of men. Racially profiling. They criticize the police. Police Chief Jürgen Mathis was forced to respond, "I reject this negative criticism," he said. The clear aim was to prevent similar events to the previous year. Those were his words. Police Chief Jürgen Mathis. It raised the question of proportionality and legality. Check this out. It raises the question of proportionality and legality when around 1,000 people were checked and partially detained based on their appearance alone, said Green Party co-chair Simone Peter. The Green Party. Former politician Christopher Lauer called the move sweeping prejudice against an entire group of people based on their appearance. Last year, you had hundreds of women raped. You had these people running around the streets like a bunch of sex-crazed baboons. And so, because you go to stop them from doing it this year, now they are accused of racial profiling, of going after these people just because of what they look like. Well, duh. I mean, duh. Come on, wake the hell. What are you talking about here? What are you talking about here? German citizens praised the police. They seemed cautiously pleased with the outcome and felt safe. They had enough police on the streets to prevent the same thing from happening again. And the German citizens praised the police department. But these other people come out, right? There's other people, the leftists come out and they says you can't do that because that's racial profiling. It seems like the leftists would rather maintain the facade of political correctness than actually prevent the mass molestation and rape of women. Let that sink in. Picture it in your mind. Okay? Also consider the fact that hundreds of migrants gathered in Cologne despite the massive backlash and awareness of what happened last year. They apparently thought they could get away with raping and molesting hundreds of women yet again. So, gatherings of North African men were also observed in Hamburg, Hanover, Essen, Dusseldorf, and Dortmund. 14 sexual assaults were reported in Hamburg. The perpetrators identified as Syrians, Iraqis, Afghans, and a lone German Russian. How'd he get in there? Huh? Terror expert. Migrants radicalized after coming west. Attacks impossible to stop. Even if vetting worked, there's too many migrants to vet properly, says expert. The Christmas market attack in Berlin was impossible to prevent because many migrants aren't radicalized until after they've come west, says a German terrorism expert. The expert, Rolf Tophoven, said the German government knew an attack like the one on Monday, which killed 12 people, was likely to happen given the overflow of migrants into Germany. And the ISIS propaganda chief who told followers to use any means necessary to kill infidels, okay, including knives and trucks. Even if authorities were able to properly vet all of the migrants, many of them aren't radicalized until they've settled in Western society. Many people come here not only for safety, but also in the hopes of starting new lives with a secure income. If society doesn't fulfill these expectations, there's the danger that some of these disappointed people could drift toward radicalization and a fanaticized frustration, he added. So there you go. There you have it. There you go. Many of these people are radicalized after they don't have nothing to do they? I mean, they get their health care and their education and their housing and their social security and their health insurance and food stamps, and they get all that. So they don't really have to go to work. They're unemployable to begin with, right? And then the next thing you know, they're out in the streets setting cars on fire, raping women. Ladies and gentlemen, it's enough to make a grown man cry, I tell you what. Unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. So, there you go. There you have it. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. See what happens. You're listening to the Samsel Report right here on Revolution Radio. Ladies and gentlemen, hopefully in the next, 12 days? 12 days until Trump gets in there. Thank God. Thank God. We can't get rid of this guy in the White House. We got to get, my God, we've had enough of this. We have had enough of this. And that's why the American people put Donald Trump in the White House. Okay? Because we've had enough. So that's about it, ladies and gentlemen. That about does it for the Samsel Report this week. January 7th, 2017. It's 2017. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Oh, man. I tell you, if we live through, if we make it through here, we're going to be all right, okay? All right? We're going to be okay, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be all right. All right? Things are going to start to change now. We're going to start having victory after victory after victory against the globalists, against the New World Order. God, what? Music. That's music. Can you hear the music?
Thank you for listening to Revolution Radio.